Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about national parks in USA. So right here it states the US is a country of 50 states covering a vast swath of North America, with Alaska in the northwest and Hawaii extending the nation's presence into the Pacific Ocean. Major Atlantic coast cities are New York, a global finance and culture center and capital, Washington D.C., Midwestern metropolis. Chicago is known for influential architecture, and on the West Coast, Los Angeles, Hollywood is famed for filmmaking. So there's a list of national parks in the United States, and the United States has 61 protected areas known as national parks. And here's a pretty much a blow up of that. The interesting thing about this, in my opinion, is that a lot of it is protected from basically humans from destroying it and altering it in a way. But I was thinking, if you go to Google Maps, which I'm going to now, so I was thinking, what if these national parks, because they're everywhere, everything in green is a national park. So what I was thinking is, what if they did that all along the coastline, from the coastline in to a certain amount of feet, just like when people go to the ocean, to the shoreline, and they want to visit like the pier like this. So I've been here before in the pier here, and if you go to a satellite view, you have this trail here, and it's just concrete, and people get to ride their bikes, and then as you can see here, there's homes and stuff. um, there's some homes, so I think that's the way it should be all along, just to protect that and to give everyone the ability to be able to ride their bikes and to come enjoy nature. And I was also thinking to make it all into a national park where you know are the people that handle like the plants and stuff, they could grow um, or plant palm trees that like the the salt water and to provide us with food. So if if um if that was done all along the coast, all the way up to California, everywhere, every coast, I think that eventually there will be so much food to gather and more jobs will be open because it'll be part of like the uh, national park. But for us to be able to go in there and, you know, pluck the food from the trees and stuff. And then there's a park. Um, I don't know which one it was. It might have been um, Death Valley National Park, but it was like a desert one. Let me go to Death Valley National Park, and it might have been this one here, but there was some type of lake from my understanding. Oh, this is nice. Anyway, there was a lake, and I was thinking to take people could take natural plants that naturally grow out there, harvest them, take the seeds, and plant those seeds where there's water, or just throw them out there like like on a helicopter or something, or put them in a bag and explode them in midair so they could scatter at a certain radius from the sky, and then you have plants. And when there's more plants like this, then there'll be more moisture retained, and well, you have a greener desert. But yeah, anyway, that's what I was kind of thinking, just to, um, in a way, you know, so like this here is a great way for people to go and have a good time. You know, people get to use the sidewalk here, ride their bikes. So I was thinking, like, what if that trail was from the bottom of California all the way to the top of Washington, or even further, for bicyclists to do bicycling and things like that, you know. Um, and at the same time, basically all the keeping all the like the newest advancements that are done to each pier, because if you've gone to Los Angeles, you know that they never really thought of it as being a very populated area where a lot of vehicles will be passing by. That's why everything is so compacted, and there's a lot of traffic, and some streets are very narrow. There's hardly any parking because people didn't really think about a lot of that stuff. So if you go anywhere else, say anywhere else, and you figure out a newer setup to, and then think about it from a future perspective, like this can possibly get like this over here. Then if that's the case, which it can be, then what what was not done over here can be done over there, and vice versa. So it'll be like, um, what is that word? I don't know, like just our growth, our growth and like trial and error type of thing, but just learning from what we didn't do here and the pros and cons of that, the problem it creates, and basically changing that, because it's not just here that's a problem. You have like all this over here too, like that can be. I mean, I never been out here and stuff, but a lot of this should be kind of in a way protected, and if someone already owns that land, then it can be bought out and then sectioned off for future use, and to also make it into an attraction by allowing bicyclists and other people to go through all this if they wish. Like everything, honestly, like. But anyway, yeah, those were just some ideas that came to my mind, and I just felt like sharing them. Like just to get them out of my head, and so I could forget all about them, and I won't have to worry about it. So I don't know. Maybe someone out there is interested is into this type of stuff. So I guess it would be like more building code, right? And yeah, because like there's a freeway out here somewhere, but there's like a railroad in between the freeway. I mean, I don't know what's better or worse or whatever, but see, someone thought about that, and they probably thought, well, that's the best possible place to put that. So I guess like it would have to be something that would be brought to the table, and a lot of like councilmen would have to judge and rule and decide which route would be the best as far as long term and what would be less resources to be wasted or used, things like that. Taking all that into consideration, and also there's a lot of people that love biking. So if that can also be extended or stretched out along the shoreline everywhere, then I believe a lot of people would visit the shoreline more and make everyone in a way, or allow everyone in a way to experience what we kind of experience here in Los Angeles area, the city of Los Angeles, which has like Santa Monica, um, Rancho Palos Verdes, Terminal Island, Long Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, and like all this, San Clemente, like Oceanside, like all this stuff out here. Imagine kind of that being everywhere. So everyone in the world could enjoy everywhere. China's shorelines, Australia, Russia. I think this is Asia. I'm not sure. Brazil. I never traveled in my life, so I don't know about Antarctica, but maybe. Um, but you guys get the idea, right? The picture. Anyways, mm, I guess since I'm on this national forest idea, I was also thinking, like, what if more, wildlife, like bears and stuff, could be on the grounds, national, no, like Jurassic Park. You guys remember this, right? Jurassic Park. And then there's the uh, gates. The gates like this, right? So imagine if there was something like this on a national park, a real one like this, our national parks in the United States. And then maybe other countries could follow suit and do their own, and I'm sure they do. But like, what if you had a mountain like this, and in from down here, imagine you were able to see the animals. Imagine if they had their own like waterfall, and there was bears and deer and all kinds of animals, and and just left it alone, and people or tourists would be able to go and view that. And I guess like the Jurassic Park would be kind of real when it comes to like the vehicles that they drive around in. Um, Not just it would have to be completely protected, like a tank or something, because it would be so saturated with these animals. And I'm talking about grizzly bears and all kinds of animals that you could think of, elephants, and of course they're gonna kill each other. They have to eat, they have to survive. But in a way, leaving them alone. But for us to look at them, to be able to, like for photographers and people that want to pay to take a tour in there, well, they'll be able to do that. And it'll be like the Jurassic Park, it will have that excitement. And in a way, people that don't have money, well, they'll be able to just to look at it from a distance and take pictures and stuff like that, or record, that type of concept. Um, but yeah, like, so like people won't be able to walk like this because it'll be like way too dangerous and stuff. And basically taking or allowing robots or creating robots to go in there to do maintenance and to cut trees if need be, trees that are dying, that can be a threat if they fell, and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's just an idea. It's not. I mean, only because I say it, that doesn't mean that it has to be done. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, like, I mean, I don't really know a good example, but like jungle um, book kids, um, or jungle park, like something like you would see in a kids theme like this. See how you have the bears, the snakes, all the animals, and it's a forest. So that type of concept, and maybe along the outside, because I was showing you guys Jurassic, the Jurassic Park idea, because I changed it. So going back to that, so if you have the gate, so out here, imagine you having like some type of stores. So you could buy live animals or fake stuffed animals if you don't want to take care of the animal, or you're unable to for whatever reason. Outside of that, like stuff like this too. So it'll be an attraction, and it'll be like a kind of like an add-on to like Disneyland. So there's Disneyland. So see, Disneyland, they sell like stuffed animals, and there's the mouse, the dogs, the ducks, and all that. And it was just a dream. It was Walt Disney's dream, and it became, hit somewhat a dream in his time, the best he was able to like envision, So see how there is roads here? Maybe that can be done at some scale in here. And of course, if someone wants to go in there, they would have to sign a disclaimer and things like that in case they get injured and die or whatever, right? Just like when people go skydiving. But this here can be done um, in any country, in any like in a way, any state, and it would be good if every state had one, because the people of that state can go visit that, and maybe from trial and error, because there will be so many of them, people will come up with more creative ideas and things like that, and figure out things that maybe it haven't even things that haven't even crossed our minds yet. Um, and this type of stuff can be done outside of the wall. You know what I mean? So yeah, so like there's even like the underground, I think aquariums. So this here, if there's a water area, then I guess it could have a channel like this as well, to allow people to go down there and take images with their families and things like that as well. And of course, this will be a great way to make money for whoever is running or doing it. Like someone has to maintain it and clean it, feed these animals. Well, at some degree, right? If some die, then new ones would have to be replaced and things like that. Um, so, and then I guess for these like the Death Valley, like the more the seeds are spread out and the more the plants grow with the moisture in the air, because obviously no one's watering these plants. They're self water collecting plants, and they absorb it from the moisture in the air. But those seeds had to come from somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. Like if scientists or people that do agriculture or whatever plants, they can get these seeds and maybe plant them where they want the plants or the trees and things like that. And then once that's done, then the same can be done out here, and more wildlife stuff can be introduced to that area, making it more attractive and more, in a way, make it not where people just go just to go, but to go and spend some money and have more of something like a memorial, something that they will remember forever. So, and I'm not just saying all this just to say it. See, because there's animals out there too. There's this jackass. There's, goats. There's camels. There's all kinds of things that can be. There's lizards that live out there. There's different types. See, there's plants here. And like I was saying with the coast, well, there's like um, palm trees that grow on shore line. I don't know. So I guess people that study plants and stuff can look at what grows the best. And from my understanding, I heard, um, uh, I'm not sure, but I heard bananas can grow near salt water, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I always envisioned. Or was it a coconut? Maybe it was a coconut. Yeah, maybe it was a coconut palm tree. So, coconut palm tree, and we all know because they're always shown like this by the shoreline. So imagine, you know, there's a lot of them planted, but maintained, and maybe like a barrier or something, or a sign saying keep away from the palm tree because accidents happen and you don't want someone getting hit by one and accidentally dying or whatever. So see, so there's a lot of potential in all this, and I remember that there's a scripture in the Bible that says uh, in Genesis, Genesis, I think it was chapter 1, chapter 1. Okay, so I'm in Genesis chapter 1. There is right here. So God blessed him and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." God then, verse 29 says, chapter 1 says, "Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant, excuse me, on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. Um, so there's a verse that says God wants us to subdue the earth, or like to expand the Garden of Eden. Um, so expand the Garden of Eden. So expanding the kingdom and our world, and a lot of people are into this big time, especially when it comes to like green. That's why a lot of people say green stuff. So see how all these animals are together. There's some water and stuff like that. Maybe later on we will figure out a way to keep these animals together and tame to hang out together. Who knows? The possibilities are really endless. And see, there's different stuff that can be introduced to this. So anyway, see, like this. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this would be great for people, for everyone in the world, and especially since everyone is, into the Mars colonization, the Mars colonization with like Elon Musk, SpaceX, and all these things, like different experiments would have to be conducted. And the main thing is the plants and things like that need to be thought of, and things like that. So if you think about it, if you really think about it, you can go back to what I was saying with this Jurassic Park idea, and it might sound kind of weird or funny or whatever, but it's not a joke. This can actually be done here, and it could be a preliminary stage to take to Mars, and all this stuff can be brought there and built there eventually, because this is what keeps us going. This is what gives us hope, all this stuff here. And I believe that everyone will have a job, everyone will have a task, everyone will have you will never grow bored, because there's so much to learn. There's so much, that you would have to educate yourself personally to figure out how you clean the glass, how what this type of fish likes, what type of plant, how does this plant grow. And there's so many people, and those people are educated in that field, and you just have to find your own, your whatever you want to do. And once you find that, then you can specialize in that. You can educate yourself on that. And thanks to YouTube, we're able to search anything, and we're able to learn anything. Like my thing is like invent or don't invent, and that's just something, like a terminology that I came up with from my mind, and it's basically like don't invent it this way, invent it this way, and then the reasons behind it, and is it even plausible or not? That type of thing. Um, so that was that, and just like the like you can just do a Google search, honestly, like and like rockets, like evolution, like like a timeline. That's all it is. That's all that I'm trying to do with invent or don't invent on Facebook. I came up with a lot of ideas. Maybe they suck, maybe they don't suck. I don't care. But people that specialize in that area, you know, maybe they could come up with something better. And see here, you see, how we have evolved over time. And right here we have 1961 all the way to the current. And where you see these rockets that can actually come back down and land, which is awesome. See, but don't just stop there. Like, there's so many other things that you and whatever you specialize in, that you could do that to anything. People are coming up with crazy ideas. Like, look at this homes, this hotel. Like, I mean, you come up with your own idea. You come up with revolutionary and creative ideas for everything. And all that stuff is going to be taken and utilized when we go out to space. And I say we because I believe everyone is in this together. And I think that if it's introduced that way, then a lot more people will have hope, and a lot of people will get more like serious about it, serious about the things that they're doing. It'll give them more hope, and them just knowing that their idea can be one day utilized in space and in um, other areas in life where we go and explore and colonize. So yeah, like regardless about all this stuff, honestly, like there's so many things that we need to learn, and we are yet to discover. Like all this Death Valley, and there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of Death Valleys. There's a bunch of deserts. Look at all these plants. No one is watering them. But if we took them, or some of them, grew them and took them for their seeds, and somehow or found creative ways to clone them, imagine the possibilities of that. We would be able to take that knowledge or that skill, whatever it might be, and take it to this, because Mars is like that. It's just like a desert wasteland in a way, and maybe that's a good way to start it, because some of these areas out here are super super cold, and there's still some plants there that thrive. So I mean, if we can't do it here, what really makes us think we could do it out there? And if we can't work together here, what makes us think that we can work together out there? when we have everything we need here on Earth without sending out resources and stuff like that. Like a lot of this is thought of, a lot of this is, highly considered, and no one is into wasting resources, especially when it comes to, you know, NASA and all them. So I don't know. I just like honestly, I just felt like sharing all this stuff. So I hope I didn't like bore anyone. I just yeah, I don't know. I just I feel better now, honestly. So I have a lot of other videos I posted, and I just hope that whatever you're doing in life, whoever you might be, I just hope that you will be encouraged to continue your work here on earth and or outside of it, and you know aim to be the best, even if no one congratulates you, even if you're not recognized, it doesn't matter because you're making a difference, whether you realize it or not, whether other people realize it or not. And I look at it like we all work for each other, and that's what it really comes down to. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and um, God bless everyone. Let's expand. Let's grow. Let's let's grow. Let's introduce. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking, honestly.